Dimitri, you're still with me. I want to bring you in to close up. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm there. It was a wonderful session. Those were a very difficult one. When you follow in parallel the questions, it's, I guess, a bit frustrating for the people on the other side because they feel like not all questions could be answered. It's also very frustrating for us because we would want to answer them. So this time I found, speaking for myself, I found it particularly challenging to follow the voice, the speech and the questions, but that's no complaint and no disclaimer. But in terms of attendance, let's focus now on the attendance. We had a good 600 to 700 people. Now we have less, I see, but it's because we went a bit over time. So this is quite a good number still, and shows the value of these sessions. Well, briefly, just to recap, so we started with Paul today and the findings on the exploratory work. Paul explained the setup, so the trials and experiments, also the three solutions used, trigger, hashlink, and the full DLT interoperability. He also explained that the market interest was very high. So we had a very high range, number and range of stakeholders, and also a wide number of use cases tested, on both on the security side and in the fields of payments. And again, more can be found. There is quite a detailed report available, so you can find a lot in this report that was published not long ago. The conclusion that we reached from the exploratory work is that there is, well, that's no surprise, but there is quite a dynamic ecosystem in Europe, and there is demand. What we also observed is that the absence of central bank money in the ecosystem is impeding growth. DLT also has the potential to address, if not all, many of the shortcomings in today's ecosystem. And that includes the possibility of redesigning processes and practices. So this is a promising venue. We also heard from George on what we intend to do in the short term. The main message here was that we move to implementation now. We are establishing the necessary governance. George mentioned the Pontes working group, so an internal setup which is the same setup as what we have in place for other target services. You also mentioned the very important market contact group, which will be our vehicle to interact with interested market DLTs. George explained the eligibility criteria. I think this is probably one of the key focus points, the eligibility criteria for the market DLTs. I will not repeat everything, but to keep it short, there will be a kind of a continuum from the exploratory work, so the eligibility criteria will be rather large. But again, we will come back to that on different occasions. George also explained that the work will not be finished when we start with the pilots. We will also bring further enhancements to the Pontes setup to overcome some of the limitations inherent to the pilots. And also he mentioned, also very important, that there will be a call for interest. And then you reminded it will be issued in the coming days. And when I say in the coming days, it's really probably tomorrow or the day after. We then also heard from Holger on Appia. So the scope of Pontes will need to be widened. This will also be relevant when we need to consider the potential impacts on our policies, but also on potential regulatory frameworks. We will also need to discuss how to overcome the risk of increased fragmentation and the inherent inefficiencies of that. This could be overcome by means of more integration or increased interoperability across ledgers. And I think Olga also mentioned that our first deliverable will be a launch paper early next year to establish the foundational elements of Appia. And now to conclude, well, I will come back to the first words I mentioned. We like it when it's interactive. And I feel today that we were a bit overwhelmed by the high number of questions. So we got all sorts of questions, policy, technical, governance, and many more. And I fear that we may only have answered only a very small fraction of that. So apologies to everyone if your question was not answered. Take this session as an appetizer. I'm sure there will be more. Ellen, you hinted to that already. There will be more sessions in the coming month. We will keep all the questions raised, and that will help us shaping the future sessions that we will organize. So I will close by thanking the presenters, Paul, George, Olga, you did well. Thank you for that. Also a big thank to you, Ellen, and the team that is helping you for these events. Always a great job. And also thank you to everyone who participated to the session today. I hope that you found it useful. And again, this is only the start. We will have many more occasions to exchange. So for now, have a good day and thank you.
Thank you, Dimitri. And thank you everyone for joining us. As Dimitri said, give us your input. You can scan the QR code on the screen now. We take this input with us for future events that we organize. So it is really important for us that you just spend those 2 minutes to give the feedback, and then we will make sure that the sessions we do in the future really fit what you want to hear about. So thanks to everyone for the massive participation. Been a pleasure to be with you all today, and I wish you a lovely afternoon. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.